Hello and welcome to the Priestess of Cards channel. Today we will be taking a look at the Medieval Cat Tarot by Lawrence Steng, published by US Game Systems Inc. I am the third owner of this deck and I don't have the little white book or the instruction booklet that comes with the deck. As you can see, the box looks pretty old already. So this deck, I believe, was released in the year 2004, which says here copyright 2004 US Game Systems Inc. This deck is made in Italy. And on the side, it says here, the glory of felines is celebrated, excuse me, the glory of felines is celebrated with Renaissance flair. Tang has created an ornate deck that blends classical and contemporary ideologies and artistic styles. With booklet text by Gina M. Pace, Medieval Cat Tarot is a beautifully aristocratic deck with a humorous twist. It's a flip-top box. On the front, we have here the title card. Artwork is by Lawrence Steng and text by Gina M. Pace and also by Lawrence Steng. Published by US Game Systems Inc. Copyright 2004. Next card is A Little History, which I will read to you. Illuminated Cats, the cat's role. The cat's role in occult practice often overshadowed its more mundane side as a domesticated creature. Cats were not always worshipped, nor were they always persecuted. For there were times in between these two extremes when cats were allowed to simply be cherished household pets. In fact, the majority of the historic engravings and paintings that we can find depicting Felis domesticus portray cats as ordinary creatures. The medieval cat tarot took this same domestic approach and added a new twist to it by having the cats act out the scenes of the tarot. Inspired by 15th century art, this enlightening art project culminated with an illuminated cat deck that seeks to bridge a gap between the traditional and modern tarot imagery. Side by side with the traditional original Rider-Waite tarot, for size comparison, medieval cat tarot is narrower compared to the original Rider-Waite tarot card, but they're almost the same size. Only the original Rider-Waite tarot is a hair or two taller. When it comes to cardstock, it is flexible and snaps back, which I like. The card is glossy in finish and it is also reversible. Not too thick, not too thin. And now let's proceed with the flip through of the deck, which starts with the major cards. The major cards don't have numbers in them, and they are bordered, as you can see. And it has that same pattern on the back of Each card has a background which looks like the pattern on the back of the card. This is the full card, the Magician, the High Priestess. They renamed it the Popes, the Empress, the Emperor. The Emperor here is standing instead of sitting in his throne. The Pope, which is the Hierophant, the Lovers, the Chariot, Justice, Hermit, the Hermit with an owl on his shoulder, the owl symbolizing wisdom or intelligence, Wheel of Fortune, Strength card, Hanged Man. So this guy looks like he's hanging sideways instead of his head. Instead of the traditional depiction of the Hanged Man. Death card with butterflies but without the horse. Temperance, the Devil, which I like, without the demon, and the Lovers. It feels like Phantom of the Opera to me. And this guy is surrounded by flames. A tower. The star. The moon. With droplets of water coming from the moon. But to me, it feels like tears. The sun with pretty sunflowers. Judgment. The world. Page wands. Okay. After the major cards, the pages follow, and then the knights and the queens and the last of the courts, which is the kings. And then eventually it will lead to the minors. Okay, so let's start with the courts. Page of wands, page of swords, a page of cups, a page of coins, and then entering knights, we have first the Knight of Wands, Knight of Swords, Knight of Cups, which is very blue, Knight of Coins, yellow or golden. It matches the color of the deck actually. The suit of coins, which is in gold. The horse is also robed in gold. Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups, very blue, Queen of Coins, and then first king is the King of Wands, and then the King of Swords, King of Cups, and lastly, the King of coins. And then we proceed with the suit of coins, ace of coins, two of coins, okay. So the court cards have Roman numerals in them in the center. Inside an image. So this is sort of um, a unique pip deck to me because there's this image here in the center of each card that depicts the traditional imagery in the Rider Waite, which I love because it is unique to me because I don't really like pip decks. And the reason why I got this deck is because it is unique. So let's continue. The two of coins, three of coins, four of coins. Okay, instead of the coins, he's holding four keys. Five of coins, six of coins, traditional. Seven of coins, looks traditional. The eight of coins. Nine of coins without the falcon. And the grapes. Oh, this is a different 10 of coins. And then next is the suit of swords. Two of swords, pretty traditional. Three of swords without the bleeding heart, which I like. Four of swords. Five of swords. Two guys. Two cats here as opposed to the five guys in the traditional depiction. Six of swords. Seven of swords. Okay, I find the depiction here funny, as if he's pretending that he is innocent, but the feathers tell otherwise, that he did something to the bird in the cage. And next is the eight of swords. So very, very interesting because this guy is inside a cage, but there is a key hanging beside him, which indicates that he has an option. He has an option to escape. Next is the nine of swords. Ten of swords, and then next is the suit of cups. Looks like he's being offered the drink in the bar. I find the images cute and funny, at least to me. This is the five of cups, pretty traditional. Six of cups, seven of cups, eight of cups. Now, this is different. This is a different depiction of the Eight of Cups. Then we have the Nine of Cups, the Ten of Cups, and last suit is Suit of Wands, Two of Wands, Three of Wands, Four of Wands, Five of Wands. So instead of five guys, we have here two cats competing with each other. Six of Wands without the horse and the crowd. Seven of Wands. Eight of Wands, which is also a unique depiction. Instead of those flying wands, the cat here is holding a bow and arrow with a paper or note attached to the arrow, as if he's about to launch a message. Nine of Wands, and the last card will be the Ten of Wands. Again, it is also an interesting depiction of the Ten of Wands, because instead of carrying a set of 10 wands, this cat is carrying a huge sack filled with heavy, I don't know. Okay, and did I forget to mention that this deck is bordered? So this is how the border looks like, with repeating patterns. And that is the end of the flip through. Now we will do a shuffle test to see how the cards feel when shuffling. From first look, I know that I will like it already, because it is, to me, it's comparable to a low Scarabeo deck, which I love. I love the card stock of I love the card stock. I love how the card snaps back. I don't bother if it's not matte, as long as it is comfortable to hold, which it is on my hand. At least it is slimmer or narrower compared to a traditional tarot deck. And I can shuffle this comfortably, which is what I really appreciate from this deck. And also, for those that don't riffle shuffle, overhand shuffle seems easy as well. Okay, so that's it, guys, for the flip through and my impressions about the Medieval Cat Tarot. I hope you liked it, and if you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I really do appreciate your support, and I will see you on my next video. Take care.